Welcome everyone to the lunch lecture, a brief intermezzo in your day on the student energy crisis. We're here with multiple parties we brought together to give you some information on what's going on, what's going to happen, and how this is going to impact you. It's basically a threefold course. We're going to be discussing the crash, the cure, and the help that is available. But to do this, we first need to understand what's happening in the market. This is the graph of the Dutch TTF gas. The Netherlands is the major player in gas trading in Europe, and it determines the price for what gas price you pay. A large fraction of gas price used to be tax. It's looking back in January 2021, the largest portion you are paying for your gas is taxes. However, since some geopolitical events, this has changed. And the large portion now is the gas price and not the tax. And this immediately shows that what the government can do is relatively small. They can only change this tax portion a bit, and they've done so recently, taking a chunk of the fixed costs, taking a chunk of the variable costs, but that impact is very much limited because the gas price determines the price mostly just based on the trading. And this immediately also has effect for your electricity bill. I mean, most of the gas is still used for making electricity and heating your house. And so these two are very much related to each other. And also this means an increase in your electricity bill. It also means an increase on your district heating bill. Your house is heated differently. And it also even means that the price of wood has gone up by two or three times as well. Energy is energy. It doesn't matter what source. The question is, can the government compensate you for this? Well, currently there's a big discussion going on, also here in Enschede, with the municipality, the student union is working on this, whether you can get some energy allowance, energietoeslag. And I want to quickly point out that, in my opinion, this is going to be very hard. But this is mostly because it's very hard for a government to determine where this money goes. For instance, if you live in a house with 10 students, then the current law states that you can only get one energietoeslag or energy allowance per address. This means that if you live with 10 people and you have a large consumption, you're getting a relatively small fraction of money. While if you live with 4 people, you would get much more per person. So it's very hard for the government to make this distinction. Also, whether you're in a well-insulated house or in a poorly insulated house, they do not have that information. So giving away money becomes very tricky. So, but that's all I will say on that topic, and we're now mostly going to look at what you can do. I'm going to use myself as an example. I've been living here for quite a while. That's already 10 years here on campus in one of these books from 1990, 1964, 1966. It's old. It has been renovated a bit, but that's it. There are 3 groups, and we share the heating bill with the entire building. This poses the direct challenge. We need to work together if we want to reduce our heating bill. And our electricity bill, I'm on my own, because that is shared per floor. It's, I think, crucial for you to get that information for yourself as well. What was my bill? Well, in 2021, it is very comparable to every Dutch household. In general, you pay approximately a quarter for electricity and 3/4 for heating. So, about 500 euros. I brought my nice small piggy bank, and so every day my heating bill or my gas bill will be 150. So, wow, that's manageable. I can give this piggy bank to my energy supplier, and they should have plenty of money. I mean, every month it's a little bit more, but still, I mean, I'm paying a rent of 300 euros, so I can. It works. Okay. Then something's going to change. This is for here on campus, but basically your contract, it will happen at some moment in time. We need a bigger piggy bank. Luckily, I bought one. it's slightly larger, so it also needs a little bit more money next year. So I brought €5 so that I can take a shower this day. So it's a little bit more expensive. And my bill's going through the roof. And this is no exception. It's no exception for you. It's no exception for anybody else in the Netherlands. Because the government cannot dampen the price increase. Because they have very little power on the price that's set in the market. I mean, the European Union wants to change this. Either way, one way or another, the bill is going to land at the people that are in the country. And meaning that if they're going to dampen this price effect, our generations in the future to come will be paying for that bill later on. And this is, I think, mostly the reason why students should be very hesitant about this measure. So €1,700 a month. Let's feed the big pig. We all know who's getting this money. He's somewhere in the east, but he gets a lot of money for his gas at the moment. So let's make that guy happy. I really want to stress, and especially this last percentage, this 25% rent increase. I have lived here 10 years on campus. Every year, let's say we got 2% rent increase. That's in 10 years. Now it's going to happen in an instant. And this is really, really going to affect you. But we are not expecting the government to help us. We are not expecting the housing association to help you. It's your house, it's your problem. And don't shoot the messenger. I'm just telling you, I mean, please. But it's a hard pill to swallow. It's good to understand, if you read your gas bill, that 1 cubic meter of gas contains the same amount of energy as 10 kilowatts or kilowatt hours, excuse me. I am a physicist, so I have to be strict on this, of energy. However, in your house, you convert this to heat and not to electricity. This is the reason that the price per unit of energy for gas is a little bit cheaper than what you pay for electricity, because generating electricity has some losses, of course. Electricity is a quarter of your bill, heating is 75%, but electricity is almost completely in your control. It is set by your demand, by the appliances you and your roommates use. Heating is a different story. Heating is mostly set by the building properties. We'll get into that later. But this also means that the amount of input you can have here is smaller. But because it's a larger fraction of your bill, the impact can still be equivalent. So saving on the one doesn't mean you don't have to save on the other, because doing both will have the most impact. And here, I want you to take control. I have been very invested in the energy crisis for years already because of sustainability. We haven't used the word yet at all today, but still, if you save a little, it helps the environment as well. So still, it's a double benefit. And the crucial thing is to get control of your data. Know how much you're consuming, because immediately if you know the price, this relates to how much you are paying. It gives you a direct incentive to act on your own behavior. We have been working on this in our house for the last 3 years, and we've managed to reduce our electricity bill in half. And this is mostly by me annoying my roommates, but also making some actions. The crucial thing about electricity is standby power consumption. What you are using late night at 2 o'clock when you're sleeping, that determines for a large fraction also part of your bill. If you have 1 watt, just a basic light, or a Wi-Fi router, 10 watts. 1 watt continuously is 8.76 kilowatt hours per year. That's a lot, because the price being 40, 50 cents, this will mean multiple euros. If you have a Wi-Fi router in every room of your student house, that's 10 watts, 10 watts, 10 watts. You must think of this as 50 euros, 50 euros, 50 euros, 50 euros. That's just running while you're not at home. Well, you need to act on that standby power consumption. I mean, we've been looking in our house with these smart plugs and trying to find and trace all the electricity. And we have a terrible freezer. It's really old. And I could not convince my roommates to buy a new one 3 years ago. Well, I think I probably can convince them now. And This brings me to my next point. You need to invest, but for investing, I need my money. And how am I going to get my money back? Because I still haven't given it to Putin yet. And this is becoming an issue. So, you're probably also where this is going. If you act now, while your prices are relatively low, we can still try to save some money that's in that big bank. Well, okay, give me a second. Yeah. We got our money back. That's most important. We need to invest a little bit of this money beforehand. But I'm not telling you directly to buy a new fridge. They can be quite expensive. But look into this, whether it makes sense to do this with your house. You need to split the savings over a few years, but you will earn money back. So, to sum up electricity. Our bill used to be 100%. And the price goes times 4. Just making, I'm gonna keep the math simple at this point, not with numbers or money at all. And our bill becomes 400%. We save half of our electricity, and we've done a very, very small bit. As I said, electricity is in your control. You can make a relatively large impact, but we still need to continue working on gas. The most important thing to know about gas is that in general it's split in these fractions. Cooking consumes only a relatively small amount of gas in your house. I can tell you to cut your potatoes in small pieces so they will be boiled earlier. It makes a little bit of impact, but not a lot. It is mostly in your behavior. For instance, here there's radiator foil that helps 10 cubic meters of gas per radiator per year. That's in a building like where I live with 11 people on every floor, 3 floors times 10 cubic meters. Makes a bit of impact, but it's also a small contribution which you can do, which actually will save you money. But your behavior is most crucial. For instance, these digital thermostat knobs that control your heating. You can program them either by phone or manually, and they set the temperature in your room, whether you are, for instance, present or not, if you buy a pretty expensive one. But just by putting the schedule, you never forget to turn off your heating anymore. And this is already a large part. If you do not forget to turn off your heating, you cannot waste money while you're not there. But this only works if my upstairs neighbors and my downstairs neighbors are doing the same thing. And this is the largest issue you are facing. You need to socialize with your neighbors. I mean, it's challenging for me as a physicist. I mean, talking to new people, but but you need to do something about that. Also, I want to give you one warning. If you cannot afford your bill at all and you're not able to pay the heating, keep it on. Never go below 17 degrees. I am very worried this winter about mold formation. Mold formation is quite a health hazard. There will be people in the Netherlands that are not educated enough, that will turn off the heating to save money, and they will go into this problem. And they might be also already socially weak and therefore run into health risks. So whatever you do, contact your landlord, contact your housing association, because you cannot go below 17 degrees. 17, 16 and a half maybe, but you need to ventilate the moisture out of your room, where you're sleeping and where you're staying. Because if it gets too cold, you get this condensation. If you keep that condensation for too long, it will run into issues. Going from 90 to 17 or 20 to 18, it's all about the relative difference. I think you can save about 10%, a 10% chunk of this heating bill. But the 10% still makes a significant impact. but you can save most by changing your behavior on how you use your radiator. The same holds for showering. Unfortunately, a shower is nice, but also if your downstairs neighbors shower or your roommates they shower for a long time, the amount of money, as I said, a quarter of your gas bill is showering or hot water consumption. And this is the part where you can actually do a lot with your behavior. I mean, you've heard this on the news plenty of times before, but I'm just going to reiterate it again and again and again to make you aware of this. I mean, you can, I'm going to say 40 to 50%. I think 50 is reasonably possible just by buying a new shower head. A new shower head is 20 euros. If I buy my neighbors a new shower head, my upstairs, my downstairs, there are 2 showers per floor, so it's 120 euros. But we can save 175 euros per person in the next year by saving on our showering. If we don't do that, every time we shower, it's at least €1.50. I mean, I can tell you to go to the sports center, but you still want to go to be able to shower at home. So do a little. So, summarizing gas. Gas, again, is not in your control entirely, but your behavior can still make a significant impact. Because if we go from 100 to 80% in our demand, and we do the same, let me reiterate. So this was our bill, and it was at 100%. Electricity, we're going to reduce by 50%. That's really making an effort. I mean, it's changing all lights, changing the freezer, changing your behavior. But work on your laptop, not on your desktop. All these very, very simple things. But gas, we're only going to save 20%. So we're stuck with 72.5% of our original bill. But if the price goes up by 4, we are now at 290% instead of the previous 400%. So by acting, we are reducing as much money as we paid in the year before. So you can save your entire bill of this year, next year. Still, you're going to pay more. That is really the hurtful message that I have. It's like, I cannot save you of your rising energy bill. It's going to be 3 times higher. But it could be worse if you don't do anything. I mean, 100%, as I said, my bill was 500 euros. Working together with my neighbors, my roommates, and incentivizing them to work on this issue, we can save 500 euros per person. I mean, that's a lot of money for a student, but I'm saying you also have to pay 1,000 euros more, but at least it's not 1,500. And my whole takeaway of this message is you need to work together. It's not you as an individual that can make a significant impact. It's not your behavior that matters. It's the behavior of the group. You need to put peer pressure. Students are good at this, making other people drink, but I'm just going to tell you now, to make other people stop using and wasting gas. So that's my key moment. However, you are not alone. I mean, I'm saying you have to work together, but there are a few people, I mean, there are a few, but they're willing to help. First of all, we have some very nice people of the municipality here. And the municipality offers plenty of advice, attention. They have a nice website. The Dutch one is Energieloket. And this Energieloket, last year they gave away a lot of free products. Unfortunately, that has ended. However, they still have a lot of energy coaches available. So if you, as a student house, want to do something, but you do not have the knowledge or you want some more advice, ask for it. Reach out. And also, they are there to signal energy poverty. If you're not able to make it, talk to your landlord, but also notify the municipality. The municipality is also busy with trying to make some emergency fund to help the people that are really in need. You might qualify at that moment in time. Because, as I said, I don't want you to shut off the heating. The housing associations, they play a slightly different role. They will guide you to these institutions also. But often, they might be in control of your data. talk to them, work together, and look toward the future to get that data. But also, you can develop insights which can help them as well. I mean, it's all an exchange. We need to become a little bit more social again. If you are mentally unable to pay €1,000 at one moment, it might be better for you to raise your service cost at this moment in time already. If you can structure your life and your finances better by spending that €100 a month already, I would highly encourage you to do so. If you get money back, it's fine. But at least you might not be stuck with that high bill at the end of the year. Again, signal if you can't afford it. If you want to work together on the future of the university or the future of your housing association, or you want to involve yourself in a little bit more high-level discussions, why not join your representative board? I mean, SJHT has a representation, the Vest has a representation, Central Tenants Council, Drienelo. They will be working on to make the housing more sustainable. And that is really going to save your energy bill. And you can help them, give advice, and work on this a little bit fast. From the university, I have noticed last year, or at least last year, was an eco-challenge. There is going to be one this year. The exact details are not settled yet. So last year they gave away some money for the student houses that had the best ideas or whatever. I am encouraging them to not give a lot to very few people, but a little to many more. But we'll have to see how that will finalize. So, in conclusion, I just want to say, get your ass off your chair, off your couch, and start doing something. It's a behavioral change. You can buy a new shower head, you can buy a radiator knob, you can put some radiator foil, you can buy some LED lights, but I think you are all aware of those solutions. I'm just saying you have to do them together with your housemates and do them together with the people you have to live with. Also, that means working with the neighbors upstairs or down the street if you share a meter with them. So, to round this off, I'm gonna give, because you're sitting here in your break, I'm gonna give you the opportunity to ask some questions. After that, I mean, there are some people present of your housing association, so the Veste, SJHT, the Energieloket are here if you want to make an appointment with an energy coach, for instance. So I'm gonna give a little bit time for that. They will be giving you shower timers. We got shower timers for everyone. Oprah Winfrey. Yeah, with that, I want to thank you very much for your attention and let's some questions.